Today, we shall cover conceptual framework of research. My name is Dr. Onyiko from Masai Mara University. So the concept of research. Research is a way in which we acquire dependable and useful information about everyday life processes. We can also say that research is a systematic endeavor on how we can understand or perceive complex situations that surround us on a day-to-day basis. And also, Travelers in 1969 defined research as an activity directed towards development of an organized body of scientific knowledge about the events which human beings are concerned with on a day-to-day basis. Another definition can be derived from Leedy, 1997. Leedy defines research as a systematic process of collecting and analyzing information or data in order to increase our understanding of the phenomenon with which we are concerned or interested. Class? So many people are involved in day-to-day activities that can amount to research. But then the key question is that, what is not research? And these are the following. One, mere information gathering cannot amount to research. Neither is research mere transformation of facts from one location to another. So what also is not research? So merely rummaging through information, for instance, when you study in the library, that's not research. So also, research is not a catchword used to get information. So when you're conducting studies in the library, reading your notes, or reading a novel in the hope of getting information, that's not research. So, what are some of the key characteristics of research? Number one, research originates with a question or a problem. And I wish to explain this, that we have so many unanswered questions and unresolved problems around us. When we look around, for instance, in the society, as social workers, as social scientists, and human service providers, there are so many problems that make us wonder and ask questions. For instance, the problem of street children in Kenya today. So we attempted to ask questions. For instance, what is the cause of street children? What can be done to end this phenomenon? What is the government doing to terminate street children? So basically, I just want to say that an inquisitive mind is the beginning of research, basically, because we want to unanswered questions and unresolved problems, and so we begin to ask questions. Number two, research requires clear articulation of goal. Let me repeat that. Research requires a clear articulation of a goal. Yeah. So the goal for my study that I'm using today will be, for instance, the goal is to find out the determinants of street children in Kenya. So then the ultimate goal of research, basically, in grammatical complete sense, is which we want to find out what the end result will be. Another characteristic of research, it requires a specific plan or procedure. So research is not a one-off thing. It takes time. It's systematic. Yeah. So you have to design your plan of activity and then go about it. The other one, research usually divides the principal problem into more manageable sub-problems. So, for instance, if the problem is the problem of street children in Kenya, we can divide that into smaller, sub-problems. One could be health, social problems. Another one could be problem of drug and substance abuse among street children. Yeah. Class, research is also guided by specific research questions, problems, or hypotheses. Yeah. Research accepts certain critical assumptions. Also, research requires the collection and interpretation of data. Class, you need to collect appropriate data, organize it in a meaningful way so that it can be analyzed and interpreted. And using this particular data, you are able to answer your research question. Remember, initially, I said that research begins with a research problem. Research is a cyclical or helical. Yeah. So basically, research follows a cycle. It begins simply and follows a logical and developmental task as you build your study. Other key characteristics of research include that research emphasizes development of generalizations, principles, or theories that will be helpful in predicting the future occurrences. Research is based upon observable experience or empirical evidence. It also demands accurate observation and description of phenomenon. It involves gathering new data from primary or first-hand sources and using this data for new purpose. There are two types of data. There is what we call people data, it's also primary data, and there is also secondary sources of data. Secondary data which you can get from already published materials, for instance, books, articles, just to name a few. Another characteristic of research is that it is characterized by carefully designed procedures that apply rigorous analysis. It requires expertise. Yeah, it takes time for you to own your research skills. It's not a one-off thing. So for you to become a researcher, you need to study, conduct research over time, and gain that particular expertise. Research strives to be objective and logical. As researchers, we are called not to be subjective and remain as much as objective as possible. Otherwise, the research findings might be biased. It also involves quest for answers to unresolved problems. I think we already talked about that when we began today, that actually the research begins with unresolved problems around us on day-to-day basis. And I gave an example of a problem with street children. It's characterized by patient and unhurried activity, carefully recorded and reported. It requires courage sometimes. So, this gives us to a summary of 4 major characteristics of research, and basically this is 1, objectivity. Research is precise, design, and also verifiable. Types of research. Types of research is based on 1, the goal of research, 2, objectivity. I say that types of research are based on 1, the goal of research, and 2, the objective. So there are 2 types of research. 1, fundamental or basic research, and applied research. Fundamental research. The main purpose of this form of research is to obtain empirical data which can be used to formulate, expand, or evaluate a theory. Applied research, on the other hand, is directed towards a solution to an immediate, specific, or a practical problem. And we began today by saying that what sparks of research is day-to-day problems around us. And we begin to ask questions around that. So then, applied research is really linked to that, because its main aim or its main direction is on solution to immediate, specific, and practical problems in the society. Now, another classification of research according to methodology: 1, quantitative research, and 2, qualitative research. What is quantitative research? This is a form of inquiry into social and human problems based on testing a theory composed of variables measured in, please note, testing a theory composed of variables measured with numbers or figures and analyzed in a statistical procedure in order to determine whether the predictive generalization of the theory hold true. And so what about qualitative research? Qualitative research, on the other hand, is an inquiry process of understanding a social or human problem based on building a complex, holistic picture, mainly by the use of words, detailed views of information, and mostly conducted in a natural setting. So other categories of research, of course, this include action research. It focuses on finding a solution to a local problem in a local setting. Case and field study is a type of qualitative research in which data are gathered directly from individual or a community in which the natural environment, purpose of studying attitudes, characteristics of individuals or groups. So for instance, we can say the determinants of street children in Kenya, a case study of, let's say, Narok town. So other forms of research, of course, includes correlation research, descriptive research, ethnography, grounded theory research, historical research, phenomenological research, quasi-experimental research, through experimental research. But what is the purpose of research? Now, what is the purpose of research? So one of another key objective of this course is to find out the purpose of research. And one key purpose of research is, of course, training. So if you want to conduct a scientific project in a scientific manner, you need to be trained in research methods. And this is exactly the purpose of this course. Second, problem solving. This involves designing, diagnosing, and solving problems in the system, the society. It's important because, in this case, research contributes to solving day-to-day problems. Also, and this is the biggest challenge in research, to search for truth. To search for truth. So a research in search of truth is the most of the times classified as pure research. So in this way, we are able to create generalizations and knowledge. Yeah. So, and when searching for the truth in research, there are some key steps that researchers have to follow. And these steps are: number one, observation of phenomenon. Then after observing the phenomenon, the second one, are problem situations which develops therein is noted and clarified. Then The third step is development of an hypothesis. For instance, in our case of street children, we can say that the main cause of street children in Kenya is family dysfunction. That is an hypothesis of a researcher. Then the next step, design developed to test a design is developed to test the hypothesis. Then the hypothesis is clarified or refuted. Then the results are subjected to further tests and refinements. Then there is review of research experiences, manipulation of factors, measurement of the quantities, defining of variables, and analysis and interpretation of data. So, class, that's all we had today, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Close to enough.